All right, lucky you. Getting ready for a trip to the Dolomites.
You're in for a treat.
Not just any mountains, though, huh?
We're talking UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Definitely sets the bar high for a first-time visit.
Absolutely. It's an experience. Feast for the senses, really.
So what makes the Dolomites so special to earn that UNESCO title?
Well, it's more than just the beauty. The geology is fascinating.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
The Dolomites, these peaks, millions of years in the making, a real story of Earth's history.
Like, how old are we talking?
You see those jagged limestone peaks?
Oh, yeah, those are hard to miss.
The highest, Marmolada, over 10,000 feet.
Wow, that's massive.
Taller than almost any peak in the lower 48 states.
Okay, that puts it in perspective.
And it's not just the peaks. Alpine meadows, forests, even valleys that feel almost Mediterranean.
So much variety packed into one place, huh?
Exactly. That's what makes the Dolomites so special.
So, with only a week, where do we even begin with planning?
A week goes by fast. I like the hub-and-spoke approach for trips like this.
Okay, I'm listening. Where's our hub?
For the Dolomites, Bolzano is perfect. Capital of South Tyrol.
Strategically located.
You got it. Easy access to different parts of the Dolomites.
Plus, I bet the city itself is pretty cool, right?
Oh, Bolzano's a gem. Imagine a medieval city center, but with modern life woven in.
Ooh, you had me at medieval city center. I'm picturing cobblestone streets, hidden courtyards.
You got it. Charming cafes tucked away, history around every corner.
I can't wait to explore.
And the cultural scene is amazing. Mix of Italian, Austrian, and Latin influences.
That's right, Latin culture is a big part of this region. What are some must-sees in Bolzano?
Definitely the South Tyrolean Archaeological Museum.
Okay, any particular reason? I mean, every city has a museum.
Home to Ötzi the Iceman.
Wait, the Ötzi, the 5,000-year-old mummy.
That's the one of the best preserved mummies ever found.
I vaguely remember learning about him, but what's so special?
He provides unbelievable insight into the Copper Age.
Like what?
Clothing, tools, even his last meal, all remarkably preserved.
Wow, a real window into the past.
It really is like taking a step back 5,000 years.
Museum visit, officially on the list. Now, confession time. I love a good castle.
You and me both.
Anything near Bolzano worth checking out?
Just outside of Bolzano. Two great options, Roncolo Castle and Fermiano Castle.
All right, tell me about Roncolo first.
Picture this. Perched on a cliffside, overlooking the valley.
Okay, dramatic.
And the frescoes inside. Medieval court life, hunting scenes.
Wow, a castle with a view and a story. Roncolo's going on the list.
And then there's Fermiano Castle, a completely different vibe.
Okay, I'm curious, what's the vibe there?
Once home to a powerful Prince Bishop.
Fancy.
Now it houses the Messner Mountain Museum Fermion, dedicated to mountain people all over the world.
A mountain museum? That's unique.
It's a pretty cool experience, trust me.
So we've got our hub, Bolzano. Charming streets, fascinating museums, castles nearby. Now let's talk day trips. Where should we head out to first with our limited time?
For your first day trip, let's go to Cortina d'Ampezzo, often called the Queen of the Dolomites.
Okay, Cortina. Elegant atmosphere, beautiful scenery.
Don't forget the Olympic history.
All right, Cortina hosted the Winter Olympics. I'm already imagining myself sipping hot chocolate like an Olympian.
You got it. Cortina hosted the Winter Olympics back in 1956.
But the real stars are those views, right?
The Trecime di Lavaredo, absolutely iconic.
Ah, the Trecime. Those three jagged peaks are what dreams are made of. Is it a tough hike to see them up close?
One of the best things about the Dolomites, options for everyone.
Oh, good.
You can do a challenging hike right to the top of the Trecime.
Sounds amazing. But what if I'm not up for that much of a challenge?
You can opt for a scenic drive, amazing views without the climb.
I love that. Choices.
Okay.
Cortina is definitely happening. What other hidden gems do you have up your sleeve?
For day trip number 2, how about a change of pace? From those dramatic peaks to rolling hills.
I'm listening.
Alta Badia. Picture-perfect villages, perfect for hiking or biking. And the food.
You're speaking my language. So we're trading jaw-dropping peaks for rolling hills and amazing food.
The Dolomites have it all, remember? And Alta Badia is a great example of that.
So what's on the agenda in Alta Badia?
Well, there's the famed Sennes Brags Nature Park, for starters.
Wait, another UNESCO World Heritage Site?
You bet. Known for incredible biodiversity and unique rock formations.
I'm impressed. What else is there to do in Alta Badia?
We'll explore some charming villages, Corvara and La Villa.
Ooh, I love a good charming village. What makes these special?
Traditional architecture, warm hospitality, and the hiking trails. Endless, winding through the park.
Sounds idyllic. But you mentioned food.
Oh, the food! Alta Badia is a real melting pot of flavors. Italian, Austrian, Latin, all mixed together.
Give me some examples. What should I be eating?
You have to try polenta.
Hmm.
Hearty, creamy cornmeal porridge, often served with game meats.
Ooh, that sounds delicious. Anything for dessert.
Can't go wrong with apple strudel. Classic. Flaky pastry, warm apple filling.
My mouth is watering already. Polenta and apple strudel in a charming village. What could be better? All right, we've got dramatic peaks, rolling hills, delicious food. What's next?
Let's keep moving. Val Gardena, this region. Famous for its picture-perfect villages.
I've seen pictures. It's breathtaking. What makes the villages so special?
Traditional wooden houses, flower-filled balconies, set against those soaring peaks.
Like stepping into a postcard?
Exactly. But don't forget the hiking trails. World class.
Well, we're not done hiking yet.
Not even close. Val Gardena has everything from leisurely walks to challenging via ferratas.
Hold on, via ferratas. I've heard of those, but never tried one.
They're routes equipped with fixed cables and ladders, a bit more adventurous.
Sounds exciting. Are they safe for someone who's not a pro climber?
Plenty are suitable for beginners, and you can always hire a guide if you want that extra security.
Okay, I might just have to try that. After all that hiking, I'm going to need to refuel.
Val Gardena's cuisine won't disappoint. Think Italian, Austrian, and Latin influences again.
Okay, give me some examples. What should I be looking for on the menu?
Kaiserschmarrn is a must-try. Fluffy, shredded pancake.
Sounds interesting. What else?
Schlitzkrapfen, half-moon-shaped ravioli, ricotta cheese, and spinach filling.
Now we're talking.
Oh, and don't forget the speck, smoked ham, a real staple in the region.
Okay, my stomach is rumbling. Kaiserschmarrn, Schlitzkrapfen, Speck, Val Gardena is calling my name. But we've seen a lot of dramatic landscapes. Is there somewhere in the Dolomites where we can just relax, soak in the beauty?
Perfect timing to mention Lake Braze, one of the most picturesque lakes in the whole Dolomites.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Emerald's green water, towering peaks. What else?
Tranquility. It'll take your breath away.
I'm already feeling more relaxed just thinking about it. What can we do at the lake?
You've got options. Hiking around the lake is popular, or renting a rowboat, or simply finding a spot and soaking it all in.
Hiking, rowing, or just being. I like it. We mentioned Dabiaco earlier. That's close by, right?
Right. Dabiaco is a town steeped in history, charming center. Plus, it's near the Tres Sime if you missed those during the Cortina trip.
So we've got breathtaking peaks, charming towns, a peaceful lake. Time to get adventurous again.
Day trip number 5, we're going to Sesto and the Sesto Dolomites.
The name itself sounds adventurous. What's waiting for us there?
This is hiker's heaven. Challenging trails, dramatic scenery, a real sense of adventure that's hard to find elsewhere.
I can't wait. Tell me more about the hiking.
You've got the Sesto Dolomites Nature Park, endless trails. The Fiscalina Valley is a must-see.
Okay, Fiscalina Valley. I'm writing that down. Towering peaks, pristine meadows. What else?
That feeling of being in the heart of the Dolomites, truly immersed.
Okay, I'm getting my hiking boots ready. But with all this talk of exploring, I can't help but think about the food.
Ah, yes. We can't talk about the Dolomites without talking about the food.
Exactly. Give me the lowdown. What are some absolute must-tries?
You have to try canned early.
Canned early. What's that?
They're like bread dumplings, often served in a rich broth, super hearty and delicious.
Okay, Kenna Charlies are going on the list. What else?
You'll find plenty of game meat dishes, hearty stews reflecting the region's hunting traditions.
Now that's authentic.
And of course, we can't forget about apple strudel. It's a classic for a reason.
I can't wait to try all of it. But now I'm thinking about logistics. Getting around in a mountainous region like this?
It can be tricky, but renting a car is definitely the way to go. Gives you the most flexibility.
Okay, a Dolomites road trip. I love it. Any particularly scenic routes we should add to the itinerary?
Oh, absolutely. The Great Dolomites Road. It's also known as Stratastatal 241.
Right, I'm taking notes.
It's about 70 miles, winding through some of the most iconic scenery. Hairpin turns, jaw-dropping views.
I'm already picturing it.
And you'll pass right through charming villages along the way.
Okay, the Great Dolomites Road is officially at the top of our road trip playlist. But where should we stay with all this exploring?
The Dolomites have tons of options, from luxury hotels to cozy guest houses, even mountain refuges.
Wait, mountain refuges. Tell me more about those.
They're usually pretty rustic accommodations high up in the mountains.
Like how high up are we talking?
Basic amenities, but the views, incredible.
That sounds like an experience in itself.
It is. But if you prefer something a bit more comfortable, there are plenty of charming guest houses in the towns.
I think I'll stick with those. Any towns in particular you recommend?
Stick with the ones we've mentioned for day trips. Bolzano, Cortina d'Ampezzo, Alta Badia, Val Gardena.
Makes sense. Easy access to everything. This is all sounding incredible, but honestly, I'm a little overwhelmed. Any tips for a first-timer?
Don't worry, that's totally normal. The Dolomites are pretty spectacular. My biggest tip: embrace the slower pace of life.
Okay, slow down and savor it all.
Exactly. Don't try to cram everything in. Pick a few key places, really experience them.
So true. It's easy to rush through a trip and miss out on the little things.
And don't be afraid to venture off the beaten path.
Oh, I love exploring.
Some of the best moments happen when you least expect them.
Yeah.
A hidden waterfall, a charming little cafe.
I'm definitely the type to stumble upon those hidden gems.
Be open to the unexpected and you'll be rewarded with unforgettable experiences.
Okay, I'm officially dreaming of the Dolomites. But one last question before we move on. Packing. What should I bring?
Key thing, be prepared for all kinds of weather, especially if you're hiking.
Makes sense. Mountains can be unpredictable.
Layers are your best friend. Comfortable hiking shoes, waterproof jacket, a hat, and gloves for the evenings.
Got it. Layers are key.
Oh, and don't forget your swimsuit for those lakes.
This is all great advice. I feel so much more prepared for my trip thanks to you. But we've only just scratched the surface of what the Dolomites have to offer.
Oh, we've only just begun.
In the next part of our deep dive, let's get even more specific. Craft that day-by-day itinerary for our perfect week in the Dolomites.
I'm ready. Let's make this dream trip a reality.
I can't wait. Stay tuned, listeners. Our Dolomites adventure is just getting started. All right, let's map out that perfect week in the Dolomites.
Time for the nitty-gritty.
Remember, this is a starting point, a suggestion, a sample itinerary. Make it your own.
Exactly. Consider this your Dolomites blueprint.
Perfect. So, day 1. Arrival in Bolzano, your hub for the week.
Home base.
After you settle in, I recommend a leisurely stroll through the medieval center.
Get our bearings. Soak in the atmosphere. Sounds perfect. Where should we start?
Walther Square, the heart of Bolzano.
Walther Square. Got it. What's there to see?
Lively square, colorful buildings, charming cafes.
Oh, I love people watching.
Perfect spot for it. Just soak in that vibrant energy.
Sounds great. What else is a must-see in Bolzano's center?
You can't miss the Duomo, Bolzano's cathedral.
Okay, the Duomo. Why is it special?
Beautiful Gothic architecture, intricate details, and the bell tower. Panoramic city views.
I'm sensing a theme here. Views, views, views.
The Dolomites are all about the views.
Okay, we've got Walter Square, the Duomo. What's next on our walking tour?
A short walk from the Duomo will bring you to the South Carolian Archaeological Museum.
Right. Ötzi the Iceman. We have to pay him a visit.
It's a trip back in time, seeing him so well preserved. His clothing, his tools.
Even the food he was carrying.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. It's amazing to think we can glimpse life in the Copper Age so clearly.
definitely a highlight. Okay, museum visit, check. But all this travel and exploring makes me hungry. What's for dinner on day 1?
For a taste of the Tyrol region, I recommend a traditional restaurant in Bolzano.
Sounds perfect. Any specific dishes we should try?
Schlitzkrapfen are a must. Those half-moon-shaped ravioli.
I'm writing that down. What else?
Grostol, pan-fried potatoes, speck, onions.
Ooh, that sounds hearty and delicious. All right, day 1 is off to a great start. What about day 2?
Day 2, Castle Day, Roncolo and Firmiano, remember?
Of course. The castle with the frescoes and the castle with the mountain museum. Which one first?
Let's start with Roncolo, that dramatic cliffside location.
Okay, Roncolo it is. Remind me, how do we get there?
Short drive or bus ride from the city center.
Easy enough. And the views alone are worth it, right?
Absolutely. But once you're inside, it's like stepping back in time. Those frescoes, medieval court life, hunting, chivalry.
Wow, a castle with a view and a story. What more could you ask for? And then we head to Firmiano, right? For our mountain museum fix.
That's the plan. Firmiano Castle with the Messner Mountain Museum.
What makes the Messner Mountain Museum so special again?
It's about mountain people all over the world.
Right, their connection to the mountains.
Art, photography, artifacts, really thought-provoking.
I'm intrigued. Okay, 2 castles in one day. That calls for a celebratory dinner. Where should we go on day 2?
Let's dive into Bolzano's culinary scene a bit more.
Lead the way.
I recommend finding a restaurant that focuses on regional wines.
Ooh, a wine tasting. What kind of wines are we talking about?
You'll find some fantastic Pinot Grigio, Gewürztraminer, Legreen.
I'm taking notes. All while enjoying delicious local food, of course.
Hmm.
This is Italy, after all.
Exactly. And the atmosphere in Bolzano in the evening is fantastic.
Day 2 sounds like a perfect mix of history, culture, and deliciousness. What about day 3? Where does our Dolomites adventure take us next?
Day 3, it's Cortina d'Ampezzo time. Get ready for those stunning views.
Cortina. I've been waiting for this. Those Tricimi di Lavoredo have been calling my name.
They are something else. So for our day in Cortina,
Yes.
we're starting with the scenic drive, the Great Dolomites Road.
Okay, a scenic drive to kick things off. I like it. What are we going to see?
Picture this. Winding mountain passes, limestone peaks towering all around you, lush valleys, charming villages.
Stop. I'm already there.
You'll pass iconic landmarks, Falzarego Pass and Catori.
Yeah, the tree seat.
Of course, the tree seat.
Okay, I can't wait. I'm assuming we'll be making some stops along the way, right?
Absolutely. There's a charming village, San Cassiano, perfect for a break.
San Cassiano. Got it. What's so charming about it?
Traditional architecture, cozy atmosphere, and the views of the peaks from there.
I'm already picturing myself sipping a cappuccino in a quaint little cafe. Okay, scenic drive, charming village. But we do have to make it to Cortina eventually, right?
We do.
Well,
After our coffee break, we'll arrive in Cortina d'Ampezzo.
the heart of the Ampezzo Valley. So what's first on the agenda in Cortina itself?
Let's explore the town center. Cortina is all about elegance.
Oh, I'm ready to feel fancy.
Pedestrian-friendly streets lined with boutiques, cafes, historical buildings.
It sounds lovely.
That unique blend of sophistication and alpine charm, you'll feel it as you wander around.
I can't wait. But we can't forget about Cortina's Olympic past, right? It hosted the Winter Olympics way back when.
That's right, in 1956.
Are there any Olympic venues that are still there worth visiting?
Definitely. The Olympic Ice Stadium is iconic.
The Olympic Ice Stadium. What happened there during the Olympics?
That's where they held the figure skating and ice hockey events.
Wow, imagine being there.
It's still used today for skating and hockey, a real piece of history.
Okay, the Olympic Ice Stadium is going on the list. But let's be honest, the Chase Sim are calling. When do we get our close-up view of those peaks?
For the afternoon, we've got options.
I'm loving all these options.
If you're feeling adventurous, we can hike up to the Tres Sim.
Ooh, a hike. How challenging is it?
It's a challenge, but the panoramic views from the top are worth it. Truly breathtaking.
Okay, I'm tempted. But you said we have options. What's the less strenuous choice?
We can take a scenic cable car ride.
Cable car. Like up the mountain?
Several cable cars in the area offer stunning views of the Tres Simi. No hiking required.
Okay, hiking or cable car. Both great options.
Mm-hmm.
But all this talk of mountains and fresh air is making me hungry. What are we having for dinner in Cortina?
Cortina is known for its elegant restaurants. Let's treat ourselves.
A fancy dinner. I'm in. What kind of food should we look for?
Think delicious Italian cuisine, maybe with a modern twist. And those views.
Dinner with a view of the Dolomites. Doesn't get much better than that.
Mm.
Speaking of views, where are you staying in Cortina?
Let's go for a charming hotel right in the heart of town.
Oh, I love being in the heart of the action. Walking distance to everything. All right, day 3 is shaping up to be unforgettable. What about day 4? Where to next?
Day 4, we're off to Alta Badia. Those picture-perfect villages, rolling hills, incredible food.
I'm excited to explore a different side of the Dolomites. What's the plan for our day in Alta Badia?
We'll start our day in the village of Corvara, nestled in the heart of Alta Badia.
Corvara, got it. What will we do there?
Explore the village, admire the architecture, maybe do a little souvenir shopping.
Ooh, I love a good local shop.
Yeah.
But you mentioned rolling hills. When do we get our hiking boots on?
After Corvara, we're heading to the Fanes Senas Brags Nature Park.
Right, another UNESCO World Heritage Site. What kind of hiking trails can we expect?
Meadows, forests, crystal clear streams, all surrounded by those mountain views.
Sounds like my kind of place.
It's a nature lover's paradise.
You also mentioned biking. Are there biking trails in the area too?
Absolutely. If hiking isn't your thing, you can rent a bike.
Okay, options. I like it.
Yeah.
But let's be real, the food is a big part of the Alta Badia experience, right?
Oh, the food. Get ready for some serious culinary indulgence. This is Latin country.
I'm ready. What should we be sure to try?
Tertras, those fried pastries we talked about, and kajinchi, spinach, and ricotta ravioli.
I'm writing it all down.
And don't even think about skipping the apple strudel.
Okay, you don't have to tell me twice. Tertras, kajinchi, apple strudel, it all sounds incredible. Where should we have dinner in Alta Badia?
Let's go for a traditional Latin restaurant.
Ooh, I love that idea. Authentic Latin cuisine. Where do you recommend we go?
Any of the charming villages will have something perfect. It's all about soaking in that local atmosphere.
And the food, of course.
Hmm.
But where are we spending the night in Alta Badia?
Let's find a cozy guest house, somewhere picturesque.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Waking up to those mountain views, fresh air.
Maybe the aroma of freshly baked bread wafting through the air.
Okay, stop. You're making me too hungry. Day 4 is going to be amazing. What about day 5? Where are we off to next?
Val Gardena. Remember those charming villages, stunning views?
Of course.
Yeah.
The ones that look like they're straight out of a fairy tale. What's the plan for day 5?
We'll start with a visit to Ortisei, one of the most picturesque villages in the whole region.
Ortisei. I've seen pictures. Those flower-filled balconies are calling my name.
You'll have plenty of time to wander through the streets, admire the traditional houses, maybe do some souvenir shopping.
I love that. A leisurely morning soaking up the charm of Ortisei. But we can't forget about those world-class hiking trails.
Right. In the afternoon, we're heading to Sacita and Alpe di Siusi,
Okay, Sicida and Alpe di Siusi. What are those?
two of the most stunning areas in Val Gardena.
How do we get there?
Cable car. The ride-up offers incredible views in itself.
Okay, a cable car ride, May Day, a hike through breathtaking scenery. This trip is amazing. And speaking of amazing, food.
Mhm.
What's on the menu in Val Gardena?
You'll find a real blend of influences here. Italian, Austrian, Latin, lots of variety.
Give me some must-tries.
Speck is a must. That smoked ham we talked about.
Oh, yeah, speck. What else?
Kaiserschmarrn. Fluffy, shredded pancake. Often served with fruit compote.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming pasta is always a good choice in Italy.
You can never go wrong with pasta.
Speck, Kaiserschmarrn, pasta. I'm starting to get hungry. Where should we have dinner in Val Gardena?
Let's find a traditional restaurant in one of the villages.
I love those cozy, authentic places.
Enjoy some Tyrolean cuisine, savor a local wine.
It's all about the experience, right?
Mhm.
Soaking up the atmosphere, enjoying the company.
Exactly. And where are we staying in Val Gardena?
I'm curious.
Let's go for a charming hotel with stunning mountain views.
Oh, I can already picture it. Waking up to those breathtaking panoramas.
The fresh mountain air streaming in through the window.
Okay, stop. You're making me want to book my flight right now.
Ah.
Day 5 sounds like pure magic. What about day 6? Where are we off to next?
Day 6, we're heading to Lake Braze. That emerald green water, those towering peaks.
Lake Braze. I've been waiting for this. Those pictures online are unreal.
It's even more stunning in person. So, for our day at the lake,
Tell me everything.
we'll get there early, beat the crowds, soak in that peaceful atmosphere.
Early bird gets the worm, and in this case, the best views.
Exactly. You can choose to hike around the lake, take in the views from different angles, or rent a rowboat.
Ooh, rowing on a lake surrounded by mountains. That sounds incredibly peaceful.
It is. Or you can just find a quiet spot and relax.
Hiking, rowing, relaxing. I think I'll have to do all 3. But you mentioned crowds. Any tips for avoiding them?
Early morning is best, or late afternoon. Plus, the light is great for photos then.
Good to know. I'm definitely an early riser, so that works for me. What about lunch? Are there places to eat near Lake Braze?
There are a few restaurants and cafes. Simple but delicious.
Simple and delicious. Sounds good to me.
You could also have a picnic by the lake.
Oh, a picnic. Now you're talking. What's more romantic than a picnic with a view of Lake Braze? All right, after lunch, what's next?
We'll head to Dabiaco.
Right, the charming town with the rich history.
We can explore the town center, visit the local museum, or just relax at a cafe.
Sounds like a lovely afternoon. You mentioned Dabiaco has a rich history. Can you tell me more about that?
Dabiaco has been an important crossroads for centuries, connecting Italy and Austria.
Wow, that's fascinating. What else happened there?
It was a major timber and mining center, played a role in both world wars.
A lot of history packed into one little town.
It's pretty amazing. Today, it's a peaceful place, but you can still feel that history in the air.
I love that. Okay, history lesson, check. Now what about dinner? Where are we eating in Dabiaco?
Let's choose a traditional restaurant. Focus on regional cuisine.
That was perfect. Hearty, local food after a day of exploring. It doesn't get much better than that.
And the atmosphere in those traditional restaurants is something special.
I can imagine. Soaking in that local culture, enjoying good food and company. But where are we staying near Lake Braze and Dabiaco?
Let's find a cozy guest house in a peaceful setting, surrounded by nature.
Okay, a peaceful guest house surrounded by nature. I'm sold. Waking up to the sound of birdsong, mountain views. Day 6 is going to be bliss. But what about day 7? Where does our Dolomites adventure end?
Day 7, we're heading to Sesto and the Sesto Dolomites.
Sesto, hiker's paradise. I'm ready to conquer those trails. So what's the plan for our final day in the Dolomites?
We're going to hike. We'll choose a trail in the Sesto Dolomites Nature Park, something that suits our fitness level and our sense of adventure.
I'm up for a challenge.
Yeah.
But you mentioned trails for all levels, right?
No, absolutely. From leisurely walks to challenging climbs.
Yeah.
And those views,
Yeah.
they never disappoint.
I can't wait. Are there any particular trails you recommend?
The Fiscalina Valley. Incredible scenery, challenging trails.
Okay, the Fiscalina Valley is at the top of my list,
Mhm.
but I'm going to need some serious fuel for all that hiking. What should we eat in Sesto?
Sesto has a mix of Italian and Austrian influences.
Okay, give me some examples. What should I be looking for on the menu?
You have to try noodle,
Noodle, what are those?
like dumplings, often served in soup or with gravy. Super hearty.
Okay, noodle it is. What about dessert?
Can't go wrong with apple strudel, the classic apple strudel.
I'm sensing a theme here. Apple strudel is a must in the Dolomites. All right, noodle and apple strudel it is. But where should we have our final dinner in the Dolomites?
Let's find a traditional restaurant in Sesto. One last chance to savor that regional cuisine.
I love that idea. A final hurrah, soaking up the atmosphere, enjoying those delicious flavors. It's the perfect way to end our trip. But where are we staying in Sesto?
We'll find a charming hotel. Stunning mountain views, of course.
Of course, waking up to those views on our last day.
The perfect way to say goodbye to the Dolomites. Okay, day 7 sounds incredible, but now I'm thinking about packing. What should we bring for a week in the Dolomites?
The key is to be prepared for the weather, for the activities. Layering is essential.
Layers. Got it. What else?
Comfortable hiking shoes, a waterproof jacket, hat and gloves for the evenings,
I'm making a list.
and don't forget your swimsuit for those lakes. Right. Swimming in a lake surrounded by mountains, that's definitely going on the bucket list. Anything else?
Your camera, of course. You'll want to capture all those incredible views.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to need a new memory card for all the pictures I'll be taking.
And a backpack is essential for your day trips. Water, snacks, all the essentials.
Backpack check. Okay, I feel so much more prepared now thanks to your advice, but I have to ask, what is it about the Dolomites that makes them so special?
It's hard to describe. It's that combination of natural beauty, the cultural heritage, the adventure,
It's a lot to take in.
the towering peaks, those valleys, the crystal clear lakes. It's a feast for the senses.
It truly is.
And then you have those charming towns and villages, each with their own stories, traditions. And for the adventurous types, the hiking, the biking, the climbing.
So much to do, so much to see. It's no wonder they're a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But with all that to offer, any tips for making the most of our time there?
My biggest tip: embrace that slower pace of life.
Slow down, savor it all. We've talked about that before, but it's worth repeating.
It is. Don't cram your schedule. Pick a few key destinations and really experience them.
Less is more.
And don't be afraid to go off the beaten path.
I'm always up for an adventure.
You never know what hidden gems you'll find. A hidden waterfall, a charming cafe.
I can't wait to see what we discover. But I have a confession. I have a misconception about the Dolomites.
Oh, let's hear it.
I always thought they were only for experienced hikers and climbers. Like, you had to be super fit to enjoy them.
That's a common misconception.
Really.
While there are challenging trails, there are also plenty of options for everyone. Leisurely walks, scenic drives. You don't have to be an athlete to experience the beauty of the Dolomites.
That's such a relief to hear. I'm more of a moderate hiker, so knowing that there are options for all levels is fantastic. What about you? What surprised you most about the Dolomites?
Honestly, the warmth of the people.
The people.
Everyone from hotel staff to shopkeepers to fellow hikers, so friendly and welcoming.
I love that. It's those personal connections that make a trip truly special.
And the food, the quality, the variety, it blew me away. It's a true culinary destination.
It's Italy. What did you expect? Okay, so we've talked about what to do, where to eat, where to stay.
Yeah.
Anything we should avoid doing in the Dolomites.
Don't underestimate the weather.
The mountains are unpredictable, right?
Exactly. It can change quickly, so be prepared.
So layers, waterproof jacket, all that good stuff.
Uh-huh.
What else? What's something we absolutely should do in the Dolomites?
Take a cable car ride to the top of one of those iconic peaks.
Okay, that's definitely happening, those views. What's something most people don't know about the Dolomites?
Most people don't realize the Dolomites have their own unique language and culture.
Oh, right, the Latin people. We touched on that earlier.
They've been living in the Dolomites for centuries. Their own language, traditions.
It's fascinating to think about. Adds another layer to the whole experience. Okay, I'm taking notes. Any other tips for planning a trip to the Dolomites?
Remember, the Dolomites are popular, especially during the summer.
Makes sense. Lots of people want to experience that beauty.
So book your accommodation in advance and any tours or activities you want to do, especially if you're traveling during peak season.
Okay, book early. Got it. What about resources? Anything to help us plan?
Tons of resources online. The official Dolomites tourism website is a good place to start.
Makes sense. What about guidebooks?
Plenty of those too. And travel blogs dedicated to the region.
Okay, I'll be sure to check those out. So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive, any final thoughts for those dreaming of a trip to the Dolomites?
Don't just dream it, do it.
I love that.
It's a destination that will stay with you, an experience you won't forget. So start planning today.
Okay, I'm convinced. But hold on, one more thing.
Mm-hmm.
What about being a responsible traveler in the Dolomites?
That's important. Respect the environment, the local culture, stick to the trails when hiking, don't litter, be mindful of noise levels.
Makes sense. We're guests in their home, after all.
Exactly. And when you interact with locals, be respectful of their customs.
Simple things, but they make a big difference. What about making our trip even more special?
Learn a few basic Italian phrases.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Even if you're not fluent, the locals will appreciate the effort.
I can imagine. It shows you care. Okay, we're almost ready to go, but what about safety? Any tips for staying safe and enjoying our trip?
Always check the weather forecast before you head out, especially for hiking.
The mountains can be unpredictable. We've talked about that.
And pack accordingly. Layers, waterproof jacket, comfortable shoes.
Okay, we're prepared. What else?
If you're hiking, stick to the marked trails. And let someone know where you're going.
Good advice.
Yep.
Safety first. Now, let's talk memories. How can we capture those Dolomites memories to last a lifetime?
Take lots of pictures. And consider keeping a travel journal. Jot down your thoughts, impressions.
Oh, I love that idea.
Yes.
A journal full of Dolomites adventures. What about sharing our experience with others?
Social media is a great way to do that. Share your stories, photos.
I love inspiring others to travel.
Use the hashtag Dolomites. Connect with other travelers.
Perfect. But how can we give back to the Dolomites community?
Support local businesses. Choose local restaurants, shops, accommodations.
Right. Putting our money where our heart is.
And consider donating to organizations that are working to preserve the environment and culture of the Dolomites.
Okay, I'll look into that. It's important to leave a positive impact.
Absolutely. And speaking of impact, how can we make our trip sustainable, eco-friendly?
That's a great question. I'm all about responsible travel.
Choose eco-friendly accommodations. Use public transport whenever possible. Avoid single-use plastics. Be mindful of your water and energy use.
Small actions, big impact. Okay, we're almost ready to go. But how can we make our trip to the Dolomites truly transformative?
Be open to new experiences.
Isn't that what travel is all about?
Embrace the unexpected. Step outside your comfort zone. Let yourself be transformed by the beauty, the magic of the Dolomites.
That sounds amazing. I'm ready to be transformed. But how can we leave the Dolomites feeling refreshed, rejuvenated, like really recharged?
Disconnect from technology. Reconnect with nature.
Easier said than done in today's world.
I know, but trust me. Go for a hike, breathe that fresh mountain air, soak in the views. The Dolomites are a perfect escape from the hustle and bustle.
That's exactly what I need. A chance to unplug and reconnect with myself. All right, last question, I promise. How can we make sure our trip to the Dolomites is truly memorable, one we'll never forget?
Create a travel scrapbook or a photo album. Collect postcards, ticket stubs, anything that reminds you of your trip, and write down your memories in a journal.
I love that. Tangible reminders of our adventure. Okay, we're ready to go. The Dolomites are calling. But how can we make sure our trip is everything we've dreamed of and more?
Go with an open heart.
Open heart check.
And a sense of adventure.
Adventure, double check. Okay, I'm ready for anything. But what about making our trip truly life-changing?
Allow yourself to be transformed by the beauty, the wonder of the Dolomites. It really is. Open your mind to new perspectives. Maybe challenge yourself a bit, physically and mentally, and connect with nature.
You're making me want to book my flight right now. But all this talk of incredible scenery, charming towns, amazing experiences, it sounds expensive.
You're right, the Dolomites can be pricey, especially if you're looking for luxury.
Exactly. And not all of us have unlimited travel budgets. So how can we experience the Dolomites without breaking the bank?
That's the good news. You don't have to sacrifice quality to save money.
Okay, I'm all ears. Give me your best budget-friendly Dolomites tips.
First, think about traveling during the shoulder seasons.
Shoulder seasons, you mean spring and fall.
Exactly. The weather's still great, but the crowds are smaller and prices are lower.
Okay, shoulder season travel. Check. What else?
Look for accommodations outside of the most popular towns.
Venture off the beaten path a bit.
You got it. You can find charming guest houses, family-run hotels in smaller villages. Incredible value for money.
I love that. Those smaller villages often have so much more character.
They really do. And speaking of unique accommodations, have you considered an agriturismo?
Agriturismo. Remind me what that is.
It's a working farm that offers accommodation, often meals too.
Oh, right, I remember now. Staying on a farm in the Dolomites, surrounded by all that beauty.
And enjoying fresh, local food. It's a great way to experience rural life in the region.
And probably much more affordable than a fancy hotel.
Yeah.
Okay, shoulder season travel, charming villages, agriturismos. What about food? Eating out in Italy can get pricey.
It can. Embrace the picnic culture.
Picnics. I love picnics.
Head to a local market, stock up on fresh bread, cheese, meats, all that good stuff. Find a beautiful spot and enjoy.
A picnic with a view of the Dolomites. Doesn't go much better than that. But what about those dinners out?
Of course. But instead of upscale restaurants every night, try trattorias and osterias.
Trattorias and osterias.
They're those more casual, family-run places.
Right.
Authentic Italian food, but more affordable prices.
Okay, trattorias and osterias. Noted. What about getting around? Rental cars can be so expensive.
You're right. Especially in Europe, the Dolomites actually have a pretty good public transportation system.
Really? I wouldn't have thought.
You can get around by bus or train, much cheaper than renting a car.
And better for the environment.
Exactly. Plus, you can relax and enjoy the scenery without having to drive.
Okay, public transport, check. But what about all the activities? Hiking, biking, cable cars. Those can add up too.
Don't forget, some of the best things in the Dolomites are free.
Like what?
Hiking, endless trails, breathtaking views, all free. And for biking, rent a bike for a day or two, or find those scenic routes perfect for walking or jogging.
I love that.
Yeah.
Free activities. What about those cable car rides? Those can be pretty pricey, right?
They can be. If you're on a budget, prioritize. Choose 1 or 2 cable car rides to the most iconic viewpoints.
Makes sense. See the best of the best.
And keep an eye out for discounts and package deals. You can often find them online or through the local tourism offices.
Good tips. I'm feeling a lot more confident about planning an affordable trip to the Dolomites thanks to you. But now I'm thinking, with all this beauty, how can we make sure our trip is not just memorable, but meaningful?
That's a great question. Connect with the local culture.
I love that idea. How can we do that?
Learn some basic Italian phrases. Try traditional Latin dishes. Attend local events or festivals.
It's those cultural encounters that really make a trip special.
They do. It's all about those authentic experiences, connecting with people and their traditions.
So true. Now, what about sustainability? How can we make our trip enjoyable and eco-friendly?
Being a sustainable traveler in the Dolomites means being mindful of your impact.
Okay, how do we do that?
Choose eco-friendly accommodations. Support local businesses. Minimize your waste. Respect the natural surroundings. Leave no trace but footprints and memories.
I love that. Leave no trace but footprints and memories. What a beautiful way to put it.
Yeah.
But how can we make our trip truly transformative?
Be present in every moment. Soak in the beauty. Savor the food. Connect with the people you meet.
I'm already feeling more mindful just listening to you.
The Dolomites have a way of slowing us down, opening our hearts to new experiences.
I can't wait to experience that. Okay, I think we've covered everything. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners who are dreaming of a Dolomites adventure?
Don't just dream it, do it. The Dolomites are a destination that will stay with you, so start planning today.
I couldn't have said it better myself. The Dolomites are calling. Until next time, happy travels, everyone.
you.